Welcome to another episode of the Stogie Review video review. My name is Walt, and we're going to be doing a review on the Camacho Corojo. This is a Puro, all from Honduras, and to make things even more interesting, this is actually all Corojo tobacco. So we'll get things started by cut. The tip is to cut quickly, and the result should be a nice clean cut. And we'll start toasting. Now, I like to puff on mine once I start to get things going. I don't like to completely light it ahead of time. Once I get a clean, even toast, then I begin to puff. Now, right away, the cigar produces a lot of smoke. It's typical Corojo tobacco. It's sort of spicy, sort of woody. Real good to start. So, I'll get into this a little bit and be right back. Well, I'm back, and as you can see from the ash on my cigar, I wasn't away very long. I did this purposely so that I could let the cigar mellow out just a bit. Now, obviously, the ash isn't very strong. It falls off. This is typical of this cigar. It's fairly veiny. The flavor's mellowed out a little bit. It's sort of medium to full. The finish is really thick. It's really there on your palate, and it's generating a nice heavy spice. It's kind of quick on your palate, on and off. And if you smoke through your sinuses like I do on occasion, you'll notice that it's kind of intense. It's a real nice spicy flavor. So I'm gonna get back to smoking this guy, and I'll be back in a bit. Well, I'm back, about an inch further into the cigar. The draw's getting a little tighter, but quick tip, I found that if you gently bite on the cigar and rotate it, and just enough to kind of move the tobacco around at the end, it usually helps with the draw. So I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. It didn't help too much, but it's a little bit better. So far, the flavor is sort of woody, sort of leathery. There's not a whole lot going on in the flavor department. The finish is still pretty thick, although it's mellowed out a little bit. Yeah, it's just still loose. It drops. But that's pretty much a characteristic of this cigar. Not a whole lot going on. Not much to say. The only thing that is worth mentioning is that usually I have water with cigars just to cleanse the palate, but since I've had quite a few of these, I decided to go with actually a beer tonight. And that beer is actually Yuengling. It's from Pennsylvania here. It's predominantly found up and down the East Coast, from around upstate New York down to Florida. It's pretty common. It would be just think of it as a Bud or a Coors Light, but amped up and a little more full flavored. It goes very well with the cigar. So I think I'm gonna have a little bit more of my beer and a little bit more of my cigar, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Well, I'm back, and as you can see, I'm getting down close to the band, but don't let that fool you. I'll continue to smoke this for another half hour, 45 minutes. It's already been about 45 minutes to an hour. Haven't really been keeping track of the time too much. Now, this cigar seems to be one of the worst ones that I've gotten, and I say that very loosely. And the only reason it's one of the worst ones is just the fact that the draw's been a little tight. Usually these have a very good draw, and so far the only complaint that I have is that the draw's a little tight. But you always get a bad one in the batch from now and again. So far, things have been really consistent, though. The spice has mellowed out just a little bit, but it's still there. It's still very prominent. Body is about full. The finish is still pretty heavy, thick, but it's smooth nonetheless. So, maybe this wasn't such a great cigar to do as my first video review, just because of how consistent it is. But don't let that deter you. It's a very good cigar. Well. And the good thing about the Camachos is that the bands are typically really loose, and this one, with just a little bit of work, you can see I can make this pop right off, and I can continue to smoke on. And like I said, I'll be at this for at least another half an hour, so I'll check back with you then. Well, welcome back. As you can see, the cigar's getting really short. This is kind of typical for me. I usually take them down about this short. I may even go a little bit further. To wrap things up, this has been a really good cigar so far. It's full bodied. It's rather spicy. The finish is good. It's thick, but it's good. Now, one thing to keep in mind when a cigar is this short is it's a little tough to hold on to. And when you start puffing on the end of it, you're going to get a lot of air coming around your mouth. And one thing to keep in mind is that you really need to pace yourself, otherwise you're going to get this cigar really hot. It's going to start burning your fingers and your lips. So just keep that in mind when you let it get this short. Well, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed my first video review. Feel free to send me an email at walt@stogiereview.com. Give me some input and we'll work from there. Right now I'm kind of fighting with lighting and the backdrop, so hopefully we'll get things squared away and we'll get all settled in and continue to do these. Alright, thanks a lot, guys.